Monster Hunter Wilds is right around the corner and I am feeling the hype. I've been a huge Monster Hunter fan since I was in high school, racking up over 4,000 hours of Monster Hunter gameplay across 7 games, and only 3,500 of it was using the Insect Glaive. From my limited time playing the beta, I can tell that I will enjoy Wilds and I am going to be picking it up. But should you? Monster Hunter has a bit of a reputation for being a difficult game for people new to the series. The gameplay loop is going to involve a lot of fighting boss monsters in a vein not dissimilar to Dark Souls, Bloodborne, or Elden Ring. You are fighting bosses with far more health than you have, you're using consumables to heal your wounds, stop bleeding, cure poison, and other things that will help improve your hunts. From the introductory hours in Wilds that I have had, I can tell that it's going to be a lot more similar to World than many of the Nintendo Switch versions, meaning that the learning curve to get in should feel much easier for new players. The wide variety of combos that weapons have offer a lot of depth and room for you to grow, so you will still be able to get a lot of skill value as you get better and better at the game. As far as the encounters, a typical boss fight is going to last anywhere between 10 and 30 minutes depending on your skill level, but there are some hunts that can take up to 50 minutes if you're having a particularly tough time or spending a lot of time running around. You have access to invulnerability frames to dodge out of large attacks, shields to block attacks as long as you have the stamina, and when you kill bosses, you will use the resources that you gain from them to help you kill later bosses. Some of these boss monsters are going to be much easier, some are much harder, and some might just give you trouble for a while until you can crack the code in their pattern, whether it's because the weapon that you use struggles against them, or maybe they are just a type of monster that goes very well against your playstyle. The 14 different weapon options are going to open up a number of different playstyles to you, and the new tutorial menu provided at the beginning of the game is going to help give you an idea of exactly what type of weapon would be best for you. Between choices like the light bow gun, the switch axe, and the charge blade, all offering you varied levels of complexity, ease of use, and utility to your team, it is almost guaranteed there will be something for you to enjoy. Being able to choose between having a large, slow, powerful blade, or choosing to fight with the power of God and anime on your side means that jumping between weapons will do even more to extend your hours of playtime, as weapons all feel pretty different from each other. That has been true for every single Monster Hunter game, but this one does something very nice in introducing new mechanics, such as performing perfect guards to open up chances to challenge the monster to a duel of strength, notable weak points that can be exploited to gain an advantage, or parrying from the enemy to knock them back and stagger them while putting out more offense. As far as the map is concerned, the game is going to present you a semi-open world to you, as the player. There's a lot of space to run around and navigate as you hunt down the larger monsters on the back of your new Chocobo friend. Being able to play with your friends is also a huge boon in terms of the replayability and enjoyment that you're going to get from the game. Teaming up with allies who bring weapons that can paralyze, sleep, poison, stun, or cut off large chunks of the monster will make the damage you are dealing really feel like it sticks and give everyone a role that doesn't just have to be do the most damage. Being the player providing a ton of buffs to your allies and being a one-man status army are immensely beneficial to a hunt and always appreciated. With that said, the game doesn't just get easier because you are playing with friends. The monsters do get tougher and become a little bit more unpredictable the more players you involve, meaning that your muscle memory from running solo might put you in a tough spot. Overall though, I think that having a team that has decently defined roles and brings support for each other is going to make your hunts much smoother. It's not all sunshine and rainbows though. The beta has shown some concerning things and annoyances. First and foremost, the beta has had some bad issues with the render quality of a lot of the game. Water textures popping in and out of existence, difficulty connecting to friends to play with, and in some extreme cases the monsters not fully loading in can all hamper your play experience in meaningful ways. The game being very clearly designed with controllers in mind and very little thought given to keyboard mouse controls does mean that the game may also prove to be a hindrance to those playing without a controller. Some of my friends who have had good PCs have told me that they are dealing with some very bad frame drops. I will say the water textures seem to handle much better if you run the game at higher settings, and the frame drops only ever happened for me inside of the base camp when I loaded into servers with a lot of people who are active. But playing solo or private servers, I experienced almost no issues. The only time I experienced monsters not fully rendering was when I played the game on ultra high settings while watching a live stream on the second monitor. If I either turned off the video in the background or I lowered the settings to high instead of ultra, the issues with rendering seemed to be immediately resolved. The last thing that might be off-putting is the price. It's no secret that a lot of the world is struggling with rising costs of living, and $70 can be a big ask. If what I have said to praise the game has sounded interesting to you, you could also absolutely go pick up Monster Hunter World for $30 instead, and probably have just as good of a time as you likely would in Wilds. The best parts of World is that the optimizations to it over time fix almost all of the issues I have talked about for Wilds, except for the keyboard controllers. I do truly love this series, and I am glad to see it has been getting more success out here in the West. This series is an easy recommendation from me to anyone who enjoys games that have a nice, balanced skill curve where you can get stuck for a bit on some challenging enemies that will make you feel great when you overcome them and turn them into your new armor and weapons. This is a game that I think gets better with friends, but I have also had a ton of fun playing it completely by myself, as the solo hunts are really enjoyable. If the thought of boss rush games where you have much tougher enemies than you that you have to overcome sounds enticing, definitely give this one a pick up.